Okay, I'd like to call to order the Northumberland County Commissioners' Public Meeting for Tuesday, January 7th. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States for which silence.
At this time, we'll ask for citizens' input on agenda items only. Hearing and seeing none, a motion is needed to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the Commissioners' Public Meeting, which was held on Tuesday, December 24th, 2024.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels payrolls as submitted by the Human Resource Office for payroll number 25 in the amount of $745,723.27 and payroll number 26 in the amount of $719,089.43.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels bills as submitted by the County Controller in the amount of $7,574,346.10 from November 23rd, 2024 to January 3rd, 2025.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
For announcements, the next prison board meeting will be held on Wednesday, January 8th, 2025 at 11 a.m. at the Administration Center at 399 Stadium Drive in Sunbury. A work session will be held on Tuesday, January 21st, 2025, beginning at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Conference Room. The next regular public meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 4th, 2025 at 1 p.m. at the Administration Center, located at 399 Stadium Drive in Sunbury. The Northumberland County Courthouse, Administration Center, and related county facilities will be closed on Monday, January 20th, 2025 in observance of the Martin Luther King holiday. And receipt of correspondence from Blue Ridge Mining LP to extend their coal lease with the County of Northumberland for the year 2025. A motion is needed to approve the employee status sheet list of new hires, individuals no longer employed, promotions, demotions, and transfers as item number 1 through 24.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve the following reports. They include the coal royalty report and the report from the Tax Claims Bureau.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize the adjustment of the county's mileage reimbursement rate mileage reimbursement rate from the 2024 rate of 67 cents per mile to the 2025 rate of 70 cents per mile per the IRS standard rate reimbursement for use of personal vehicles while on approved official county business.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to authorize the monthly recurring payment of $12,597.75 for the calendar year 2025 to Central Susquehanna Extension Association, working in affiliation with Penn State Extension.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize the monthly recurring payment of $4,638 for the calendar year 2025 to Northumberland County Conservation District.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize the chairperson to sign the certification of county funds form for the year 2025 designated $10,000 to the Agricultural Land Preservation Program.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to appoint John Wiscavage to the Redevelopment Authority of Northumberland County for 1 year beginning January 1st, 2025 and continuing through December 31st, 2025, or until a replacement is appointed, whichever shall come later, and this is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to appoint Bree Applebaum to the Redevelopment Authority of Northumberland County for 2 years beginning January 1st, 2025 and continuing through December 31st, 2026, or until a replacement is appointed, whichever shall come later. This is a ratification.
So moved.
I'd like to get this tabled because I issue with her private personal residence location, so she's not able to participate on this board. So how do we want?
If she's
Don't have a lack of a second, so this motion is failed. Thank you.
All right. A motion is needed to appoint Joe Muriello to the Redevelopment Authority of Northumberland County for 3 years, beginning January 1st, 2025, and continuing through December 31st, 2027, or until a replacement is appointed, whichever shall come later, and this is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to appoint Richard Cooper to the Redevelopment Authority of Northumberland County for 4 years, beginning January 1st, 2025, and continuing through December 31st, 2028, or until a replacement is appointed, whichever shall come later, and this is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to appoint Heather Molesky to the Redevelopment Authority of Northumberland County for 5 years, beginning January 1st, 2025, continuing through December 31st, 2029, or until a replacement is appointed, whichever shall come later. This is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, I don't know if I should talk now during the question. Just one thing I want to make sure the people know. This is a new authority, Megan, right? That we're.
Well, it's an existing authority that we are repopulating.
Right, and this authority is going to be handling things with blight and all, but I just want to make it on the record that the authority members will give, what word am I looking for, Megan? Recommendations to the county, but the county commissioners will have the final say on whatever is done, okay? So everybody understands that. So the last one, we had a motion that was on the question. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize the chairperson to execute the proposal and agreement between the County of Northumberland and RBA Professional Data Systems, State College, for the installation of a new application server on behalf of the Assessment Department.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to amend the numbering of Northumberland County Resolution R number 31-24, previously authorized at the December 3rd, 2024 meeting of the Northumberland County Commissioners. Said resolution, having included 7 agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and/or reports pertaining to the Northumberland County Human Services Programs, to now be numbered as Resolution R 33-24.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve the following purchases between the County of Northumberland and Dell Technologies on behalf of 911 Public Safety Department for computers, monitors, and keyboards in the amount of $13,194.67, and on behalf of multiple departments for a server to contain documents scanned in the amount of $16,824.98. This is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to approve purchases between the County of Northumberland and Moyers Electronics for communication equipment on behalf of 911 Public Safety totaling $9,859.36. This is ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed to approve purchases between the County of Northumberland and Amazon for power strips, mounting hardware, HDMI switch, and lamps on behalf of 911 Public Safety totaling $597.32. This is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed for the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners to approve the use of American Rescue Act funds for the purchase of 911 equipment as described in Attachment A for Northumberland County 911 Center not to exceed $24,000. This is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, Chris, do we want to say anything about this as a final use of that funding? These ratifications that are coming up?
There's several of them.
Yeah. So these ratifications that are coming up are money that still being used from the rescue fund that has to be used by the end of the year, which we did, and all that money has been used up and taken care of. So the county is benefiting from all, and we are, at this point, sending no money back. Am I correct, Chris? Okay. Okay, then where are we at? All in favor? All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed for the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners to approve the use of $172,175.51 of American Rescue Act funds for the scanning of documents and associated server as described in the attachment of this letter for multiple Northumberland County departments and agencies. This is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, and just so I emphasize that, the reason I'm saying this is it's not coming from our general fund or any of our tax money. This is money that we got from the rescue fund. Okay, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion is needed for the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners to approve the use of $34,000 of American Rescue Act funds for servicing the water and wastewater system for the Northumberland County Jail as described in attachment A of this letter. This is a ratification.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Oh, yes. Are we there already, Frank? Okay, solicitors report, Mr. Garrigan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion to adopt Resolution R01-25, agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Human, Senior, and Social Services and the named service providers as listed, numbers 1 and 2. The above agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports are not with county employees, nor does their organizational contract list county employees as principals in their corporation or on their board of directors, with the exception of contracts with CSO, as Controller Grayson is a member of the CSO board.
So moved.
Seconded.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
At this point, I'll ask for any old business. Hearing and seeing none, any new business. And finally, an opportunity for public input.
Public.
Afternoon, Commissioners.
Hello.
Afternoon.
My name is Hank Baylor. I was a township supervisor for 16 years for East Buffalo Township. I know what it's like to serve the public and to make sure that every penny that we tax our constituents with is spent in a wise way. I mentioned 16 years because after 16 years I started to stink and it was time to get out. So I know what you're faced with every day. However, in this particular case, I represent the community college effort project that's going on right now, has been for several years. Taxes are that dirty word, three-letter dirty word that people don't like to hear. However, this is a tax. It smells like a tax, it looks like a tax, it's a tax. However, I don't think there are too many taxes that give you a 600% return on your money. And that's what has been derived by a professional company, EMSI, and you get a copy of that report, that in a 10-year period, you'll be able to realize a 600% gain in revenue as an economic return for the entire county. I ask you here as a member of the board of the project to consider us as a project that you can support and that you realize would be a huge positive impact, not just for Sunbury, but for the whole county. This is a 4-county effort, and I ask you to consider at least a letter of support for now. The tax will be $1.25 a month per household. That's per household, not per person, not per property, but per household. It's about $15 a year. I ask you to consider us as an investment and something that's going to really energize the economy of this particular area and 4-county region as well. Thank you very much for your time. I don't want to go over my 3 minutes because I think Leonora wants to say something to you as well. Thank you very much. Have a good day. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
To establish a community college in Pennsylvania is a very long and arduous journey, and I really appreciate the opportunities that you've given us over the years to express the importance of doing this in central Pennsylvania. I'd like to start by showing you this binder. This is a binder of letters from Cole Township inmates who wrote to us saying that this community college could have very well been what would have prevented them from moving into a life of crime. And when they get out, the opportunity for them to re-enter with skills and trades that would be marketable for them. What we really would like is if we could meet with you, talk with you, hold conversation about how we can move this forward together with you. You are the gatekeepers. You are the ones who make this a legacy for our valley. And in Northumberland County, this is desperately needed. What we have here is not meeting the program demand gap that we have, the skills gap. Would any of these actions by us be useful to you? Could we locate funding for you so that we could have a qualified consultant do a study that would have joint stakeholders such as the county commissioners, chambers of commerce and business leaders, workforce development board, and CEDACOG, who would commit and then commit on the recommendations of that study. A similar study was done for Erie County Community College called the Garner Report. I can certainly provide that for you if you'd be interested. Could we possibly conduct some town halls that would inform the public and gauge interest in this? Could we support efforts that would locate alternative funding to sponsorship and supplement or subsidize sponsorship? Could we have SVC EP efforts fund training programs that are needed for Northumberland County? Could we meet periodically to discuss this progress? If there are other suggestions, other recommendations that come from the board, we are completely open to that. This is a much needed. We've completed many studies to do this, and we look forward to the opportunity that you might grant us to be able to move forward. Thank you.
I wasn't prepared to respond, okay? So this is off the cuff. I appreciate all your hard work. I think since I've been here 9 years ago, we've been talking with you. I know Rick Shuck at the time was on the board. And I am as willing to support a community college, and Joe and myself were teachers for 36 years, and we understand how important a community college is. The same as Luzerne College is, the same as Lackawanna College is also. So my support would be the same as I do with Lackawanna and Luzerne. I will never, at this point, and I will be agreeable to meet with you, but I myself will never approve of a tax on our county taxpayers to support a community college. You're saying it's a 600% not guaranteed investment of profit in some way? Show me that on paper, and if it doesn't give us 600%, tell me you're going to give the money to the county in taxes that we would observe. Maybe I'd think about it. But as of now, my opinion is I cannot support any more burden on our taxpayers to support a college. You have my support and help in any way other than that. But again, we do have 2 other colleges that I am familiar with and deal with, and I won't want to do any more than what we do for them. And I'm just trying to be an honest thing. Again, I don't have a statement prepared, but that's my feelings on it right now. And I'd be willing to meet, and we can talk. But so I make it clear, I would never expect $1 of taxpayer money to be levied by us to support a community college in Ard County. That's my opinion, and again, it's off the cuff because I wasn't prepared to do any of this. I could have did it better if I would have wrote something, but I'm not that smart, so that's my opinion on that. Joe, I don't know if you have anything to say, or Megan. I know Megan's feeling. Okay.
Everybody knows how I feel about
And I appreciate Megan.
Now, my sentiments would be the same as Commissioner Chickatano. I mean, we went to college. He was an educator, coach. Did everything in a school district. I was a school counselor. I did thousands of college applications. I understand probably better than anybody here. And I'm not saying that I don't want to be, whatever. But I was in the weeds with this stuff. And again, I would not support a tax levied on the taxpayers of this county for specifically earmarked for a community college. Do we need, first of all, I would like to see, do we need a community college here? We have other delivery systems. As Commissioner Chickatano mentioned, we have Luzerne, we have Lackawanna. And you might argue with me or debate with me that our community college here would be cheaper. Luzerne's charging somewhere around $150 a credit. That's $450 for a 3-credit course. That's pretty cheap. It doesn't get much cheaper than that. And they have some great programs. So, and they're looking, those particular entities don't have a waiting list. People aren't knocking the door down to get in there. If we had a big waiting list, it would be a different story. We don't have that. Now, the other issue might be, okay, technical opportunities, technical schools, where they could learn automotive, building trades, electrical, computer, things like that. There may be a need for that. I don't know exactly, but those kind of things can be worked on. But I'm willing. I support higher education in any form. In our society today, we have different delivery systems that weren't available to me when I went through school. You have internet. You can get a degree online in a lot of different things. Well, heck, now they do telemed. I don't know how they do that, but my son's a physical therapist. They're asking, he's going to do telephysical therapy. They want him to do stuff. And how you do that, I have no idea. How do you work with somebody that needs to be rehabilitated through physical therapy over the television, But, so... I'm all for people getting educated, and that's important, very important in a society. The better educated the society is, the better that society is going to be, no question about it. But I just don't. It's not. I don't see it. I'm not seeing that we really need. This here right now because of the things I mentioned. But if there's groups out there that want to support it financially and it doesn't cost the taxpayers, we're not going to levy a tax, well, that would be okay with me if there was people, businesses or whatever, that are willing to put the money up to proceed with an endeavor like this, because there's too many unanswered questions, in my opinion, from my experience, what has to be done. And I'm not going to go through them all now. There's probably, off the top of my head, I probably have 30, 40 questions about this kind of thing, and how it's going to take place and everything else, accreditation, all that stuff. I'm not going to get into all that, but it's a massive undertaking. And it needs a lot of money. It needs students that are going to attend it. It needs faculty. It needs it needs a lot of. There's a lot of things that goes on with this kind of thing. So that's where I stand, and I'm willing to talk with anybody about this. No problem. But okay, thank you. Sure.
That you are willing to sit with us and meet with us.
Probably more than 40. It could be about 100.
That's
Okay,
good, though.
that's just off the top of my head, but I have a lot of, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you would talk to our administrative assistant, Mary, and, yep, she could set them, yep. Oh, thank you, yep. Happy New Year, yep, thank you.
Just one more thing before we leave. You know, this is our first meeting, our second meeting in the new year, and you know, we have some things that we're going to come up with in the next couple months to cut back on revenue, on money spent by the county. We'll be bringing those to the public. But I also want to say that, you know, the year started out with this New Orleans thing, and you know, our prayers go out to those people, and I just hope, you know, 25, I know in our county and our country that things get better and it gets safer, and we all start working together for things. And, you know, we try to do the right thing, believe it or not. Some of you always don't think that, but we do. And we're going to show you in some upcoming meetings things that we have talked about already to change, to try to make us a little bit better in 25. And, you know, again, our prayers go out to the people in New Orleans that happened to, and hopefully our country straightens out and that doesn't happen again anywhere else. Okay? Yep.
Say thank you to both my fellow commissioners too. Number one, for those kind words just said, but also the openness to considering the community college. I've worked with this group for a long time, and I think the goal is to increase the technical knowledge within our county and provide opportunities, again, without increasing tax burden, obviously, and none of us want to do that. So I do hope, as Joe said, there might be funds within the community, maybe from businesses or foundations that might be able to help support the launch and be able to get us to opening doors so that we can actually see that increase in tax base, so improve our families' abilities to support their households and decrease social service costs. There's just all sorts of benefits that can come from having our own regional community college. We don't want to lessen the contribution by our other institutions in the area, but there are still significant gaps and maybe reaching the need more of those demographics that really need help to be lifted up, so then, you know, that they can help be part of our solution of improving our tax base, supporting our local businesses, and et cetera. So I really do hope, I mean, we've seen support in the community, over 3,000 petitions signed just in Northumberland County. So, you know, hopefully we can take action on this in some way. And maybe, you know, maybe that's just in trying to get more information from you and seeing where we can go. Again, I know you guys have the answers to many of these questions. Probably twice the questions we have, you probably have answers for. So thank you. Appreciate you coming in today.
Anyone else? Thank you for coming. Meeting adjourned.